Hello, my friends. Time for another exciting episode of Maniac Math with Mrs. Carell. This is video 5.4.2, so make sure you're in the right place. All right, today we're working on something called evaluating the expression. It almost sounds like, let's evaluate that expression. Oh, I think she could be smiling a little bit more. No, not those kind of expressions. An expression is another way of saying a math problem. Oh, evaluate just means do the math. That's all. So in this case, we're going to be adding, but we are going to follow our steps. So just like we did on our vocabulary day, we had some steps that we were following in order to add decimals, which is what we're doing. So the first step is to estimate the sum. Do you remember how to do that? Estimate the sum. Well, we're going to estimate it to the first whole number, which happens to be this one. The one directly left of the decimal point. Why is that a whole number? Because if we saw this as $64.56, the 56 cents is not a whole dollar. 4 is 4 whole dollars. So this is our first whole number right here. And we're going to do the same thing over here, even though it's a 0. Don't worry about that. So we're going to round to here. That is the estimating. Rounding and estimating are basically the same thing. We're going to make ourselves a little car. Then we're going to make ourselves a gas tank because every car needs something so it can go. And we are going to estimate the sum. So remember, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the number, our car stays the same. Same car. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, your car goes up 1. So what do we have in this gas tank? We have a 5, which means plus 1. 4 plus 1 is in fact 5. Bring down that decimal point right there. This gas tank looks just like the digit 0, so we're going to make it and its buddies on the same side into zeros. Do you remember what we do with this one? Everything on the same side of the decimal as the car stays with the car. So 64 and 56 hundredths, or $64.56 is close to 65. Now we're going to do the same thing for 230 and 5/10. We have a 5 in the gas tank again. That means that our car is going to go up 1. Well, a 0, if we put it up 1, becomes a 1. Bring down that decimal point, and this gas tank looks very much like a 0. Make it into a 0. He has no other buddies, so we're good with him, but the other digits over here, they have to stay with the car, so we're going to just drop them down like that. So if we were to add these two things together, well, let's see. We have nothing in our decimals. We have 1 1 and 5 ones. That makes 6 ones. We have 3 tens and 6 tens. That makes 9 tens. We have 2 hundreds and no hundreds. That makes 200. So our answer should be somewhere close to 296. So we estimated. Now we are going to line up the place values for each number. This is where we do the actual problem. So we are going to put our numbers here, 64 and 56 hundredths. And then we're going to put 230 and 5/10. And then do you remember what we need to do? We lined up our decimal places. We need to add a 0 out here so that our numbers are the same length after the decimal. All right, now we're just going to add them up just like we would any two whole numbers. 6 and 0, 6. 5 and 5, 10. Carry that 1. Don't forget to drop your decimal straight down. 4 plus 1 is 5. 6 plus 3 is 9. And 2 and nothing is 2. Look at that. Check. Is our answer close to our estimate? Well, if I had $295.06, that's pretty doggone close to $296. We're good to go. Okay, step 1. We're going to estimate the sum. That's to tell us if when we get our answer, if we're probably right, or at least pretty close. So we're going to round to the nearest whole number. Our first whole number is whatever's in the ones place, because these over here on the other side of the decimal, they are not wholes. This is 485 pieces out of 1,000. This is 42 out of 100. This is our first whole, so if you think about it as dollars, 9 whole dollars, this is part of a dollar. 16 whole dollars, this is part of a dollar. All right, so we're going to round, make that into a car. Give me a gas tank. Boom. Make this into a car. Give me a gas tank. Boom. Okay. So remember, same or plus 1. What's in our gas tank? It's a 4. So our car stays the same. Drop down the car. Drop down your decimal. What happens to these two? Gas tank looks like a 0. Make it and its buddies into a 0. All right. We have another 4 in the gas tank. So the 6 is going to stay the same. Drop down that decimal. The gas tank looks like a 0. Make all of his buddies 0. But wait, whatever's on the same side of the decimal as the car stays with the car. So if we were to add this all up, 16 plus 9 equals 25. So our answer should be pretty close to 25. Now then, we're going to line up our place values. Stick your decimal in there. We have 9 ones, 4 tenths, and 2 hundredths. We have 6 ones. We have 1 10. There's our decimal. We have 4 tenths, 8 hundredths, and 5 thousandths. Do you remember what we need to do when we have an uneven number of digits? We need to add a 0. Remember, you could add a 0 over here, but it's not really going to make any difference. Now we just need to add them up. So we lined up our place values, lined up our decimal points. Now we just add. 0 and 5 is 5. 2 and 8 is 10. Oh, remember, it has 2 digits, so we put the first one here and we carry the other one. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Drop down that decimal place. 9 and 6 is 15. Remember, 15 also has 2 digits, so we put that one in, carry the other one. 1, 0, and 1 is 2. Is our answer pretty close to 25? It is. 25 and less than 1 more. Those are pretty close. Let's follow our steps. Step 1, estimate the sum. Make a little car in our ones place because that is our first whole number. We don't want to estimate out here. We're going to estimate our first whole number in this case. So make ourselves a little car and a gas tank. There's our gas tank for this one. All right. We have our rules up here to let us know what happens with that gas tank. We have a 6 in the gas tank. So is the 5 going to stay the same or go up 1? Up, there it is. It goes up 1. Up 1 from 5 gives us 6. Drop down that decimal. The gas tank looks like a 0. Make it a 0. He has no buddies, so we're good to go. Over here, our first whole number is 4. We're going to look at our gas tank. Oh, 2 is in the stay the same section, so the 4 will stay the same. Drop down the decimal. The gas tank looks like a 0. His buddy gets to turn into a 0. Don't forget, whatever's on the same side of the decimal as the car stays with the car. Now we have 6 plus 84, which is 90. And as many zeros after the decimal as you feel like putting. We don't need that many, but we can put them if we want to. It doesn't make it any different. Now we need to line up our place values. I have 5 whole ones. I have my decimal place, and I have 6 tenths. Now I have 4 wholes, and it also has an 8, so it's 84. Decimal lined up, and then I have 2 tenths and 1/100th. Remember to put a 0 here so that we have the same number of places after the decimal. We've got everything all nice and lined up. Add it up just like you would regular numbers. 0 and 1 is 1. 6 and 2 is 8. Bring down that decimal. 5 and 4 is 9. 8 and nothing is 8. So let's see, is 89 And 81 hundredths, pretty close to 90. Yes, in fact it is. It's very close. It's within 20 cents, less than 20 cents. Let me ask you this question. What do you think would happen if we didn't line up our decimals? If we just said, oh, 5.6 and 1 and a 2 and a decimal and a 4 and an 8, do you think we would be close to 90? Well, let's find out. 6 and 1 is 7. 5 and 2 is 7. 4, nothing. 8, that really messed things up, didn't it? Now, where would the decimal go? Would it go here? Would it go here? We're supposed to drop it straight down, but if I don't have my decimals lined up, then I don't know where to put them. So whenever you're adding or subtracting, you have to have your decimals lined up or you get this mess down here. It's different in multiplying and dividing, but when you add and subtract, the decimal stays the same, in the same place. So you have to have it lined up. Okay, one last problem. Okay, first of all, I want you to see if you can estimate these two on your own. Give it a try. When you're done, come on back and let's see how you did. Okay, how did you do? Thing that looks like this. And did you come up with an estimate of 12? If you didn't, that's something to discuss with me back at the table. Okay, follow the rest of the steps, and I want you to see if you can add these two numbers together, and then come back when you're ready. Did you remember to line up all the place values and to put a 0 at the end? All right, let's add it up and see what you get. Did you get the same as what I'm getting? Did you get 12 and 95 thousandths? Which is very close to just 12. If you did, you got a handle on this, but if you have any questions, remember to ask those when you come back to the table with me. You got this.